Special Leah, and today I am joined by my beautiful kitty cat, Crumble, who has no desire to be on this video, but I'm kidnapping him a little bit. Say hello! Hello, Mr. Crumble! Hello, hello, hello! Anyway, I'll let him go now. Hello, this is Special Leah. Welcome to a new video. I am back in business. I disappeared off the map for a little bit because I was so busy. So let's get to the point. Today I'm going to be making a video that I kind of feel conflicted about, and before I get into it, please subscribe to this channel for more content on veganism. I have lots of things lined up in store about eating disorders, about other topics as well. And so I'm going to be talking about ex-vegans, and as I say, I feel conflicted about how I feel about talking about this topic. In a way I feel enraged and I want to talk about it, and in a way I'm just like, why bother? So if you're not in on all the fun, there has been a wave of very influential vegans announcing that they are not vegan anymore. And the clear pattern or trend, if you will, is that these people were initially into very extreme practices, such as fruitarian diets, fully raw diets, juice cleanses, extended periods of time on water fasts. I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to let my... Okay, no, he's decided not to want to come out. Anyway, so clearly these people went into very restrictive, very extreme practices for extended periods of time. And then they experimented with different kinds of veganism according to the person you're looking at. And now these people are reverting back to eating animal products, the gateway animal products being fish and eggs to begin with for most people. And they have basically all claimed that, boom, all of their health issues disappeared overnight. Now, I'm not here to dispute or discuss whether the health issues are true at all. You know, I'm not here to character assassinate. I am just here to point out something that I feel is important, because ultimately what these individual people do with their lives, I don't care about. I'm sorry, but I do not have space in my brain to genuinely care enough about these people to, you know, make it a big deal. I care about the victims that are going to be on their plate. I care about that immensely. But since we live in a non-vegan world, their consumption is but a tiny little drop in the sea of consumption that is happening. What concerns me, however, is that this little drop might spread like oil on a piece of paper, for instance, because these people are extremely influential, and there is a huge problem in the methodology they have used to explain their transition back to animal products. All, and I mean all, of these people went through phases where they must have screwed their system up completely. Can you imagine, for instance, fasting on water, just having water for 25 days? Just sit and think about the impact that must have on your gut. And then they have the audacity to come years later and say, well, you know, veganism didn't work for me, I'm going back to eating animal products. And I think it is extremely dishonest and disingenuous to now make videos that are clearly going to be viral, so they're going to get a lot of money off them, saying that they are not vegan, but not really addressing the core issue at stake here. The fact that they were eating these extremely restrictive vegan diets, ultimately. Many of these people, for years and years and years, only ate fruit. No overt fats, no real sources of extra protein, nothing. How do you expect that not to screw with your system, your hormones, your everything? And that can last, I mean, you can survive a while based on your reserves, but if you eat fruit for freaking years, how do you expect to be healthy years later? There are a very select few people that are going to be able to thrive on a diet like that, just as there is a population of people that is resistant to HIV infection, because we are all diverse. But let's be honest here, it doesn't work for the majority. And it would be just as stupid as saying, or carnivore diet is good for everyone. A fruitarian diet isn't good for everyone either. And I just really would like to stress, although my voice is tiny in comparison to these people, please own up to your mistakes and say, look, I screwed up, I fasted on water, I did juice cleanses, this doesn't work, it screwed my system up, and now I feel obligated to eat animal products. Whether that's a necessity or not is a completely different issue, but at least being transparent and open about these issues. It gets me so riled up that basically two completely different issues are being mixed up. We're mixing up restrictive diets, which you could totally be doing on an omnivorous diet, with veganism. It just so happens that these people were drawn to veganism probably because, let's be real, they were probably drawn to veganism in the first place for the wrong reason, reasons. There's never a really right or wrong reason, but you get what I'm saying. Probably not because of the ethics initially. I'm just going to let my cat out. And I was actually prompted to make this video following a video that I watched from somebody I very much respect, a vegan who did all the bullshit basically that the other vegans that have now turned back to animal products did. This person did the water fast, did the juice cleanses, only ate fruit, went to Thailand, all these things, and ended up with post-infectious IBS that very nearly took her life. Now, you might have recognized her by now. I'm talking about Henyamania. But unlike the others, she stuck with veganism. She stuck with veganism. Good lord, my grammar is also going down the drain. She stuck with veganism, which, is her personal choice. As I said, I'm not here to dispute the choices that these people have made. That's not my point. But what she did do, and I think that is what all these ex-vegans need to do now, is say, my post-infection IBS, my health troubles, weren't caused by veganism, but were caused by these excessive things that I did in the past. That's the thing. It's nothing to do with eating plants. It's all to do with restricted eating. And, when I started out, so maybe it's just because I came into veganism later, I don't know. But when I started out, I watched all these videos online and I saw these people eating fruit. And at no point did I think, oh, what a good idea. What a good idea. The only part of my brain that might have slipped into that was my disordered eating, because I'm somebody you may or may not know, according to whether you've watched this channel before. I have struggled all my life with eating disorders. I'm in recovery, but I'm still, incrementally working my way towards full recovery. And, when I saw these videos, the only part of my brain that might have been switched on was, ooh, a way to restrict. And that's the only way I can explain it. That people went into this for reasons that weren't the right reasons. The only reasons I can find are either you're really just mentally unwell and you're just trying things in a completely irrational manner. That's one. The second would be disordered eating, and to be frank, I think it's probably the main reason why people turned towards these kinds of ways of eating, these lifestyles. And then thirdly, a sense of belonging, because the fruitarian kind of tribe was a thing and it was cool and everybody went to live in Thailand or some in Hawaii, but it backfired on everybody because none of this was actually rational. It's not rational for most people to eat only fruit, and clearly it backfired on them. And so I would urge these people to be honest and open about it and say, I screwed up, please do not screw up like I did. Because they have impressionable young audiences, mostly made up of females that are very, influenced by these people that are influencers, and they know they are influencers. And it gets me so annoyed that they don't own up to this. Instead, some of them are even Bonnie Rebecca did say she didn't blame veganism for her troubles. She does say it at the very end of the video, but she does say it. But apart from that, Basically nobody has said anything about this. And some of them even like blame the audience. Or instead of saying, I messed up, I take responsibility for it, this is the way I have chosen to solve my problems. It may not be the way you would do it, this is the way I do it, but the reason why I have these problems in the first place is because I behave like this. The reasons why I behave like this are, I don't even have to explain them, but if they do want to, are this, this and this, and most probably it didn't come from the healthiest place, and end of story. Please do not do the same as me, keep healthy. Like, that seems so obvious. Even when I was starting out on veganism and my eating disorder voice, you know, it's always there, but it's gradually, you know, decreasing very, very incrementally. Even then, my common sense when I would watch these videos was, no. How about no? Also, one thing that annoys me about this high-carb, low-fat movement that took the world by storm and that now is completely backlashing is that they took a diet that ultimately is made for people that are sick. So it's a genuinely whole foods plant-based diet with a high-carb, low-fat can be life-saving for people with life-threatening heart diseases and so on. It's been shown to reverse heart disease. Great. It's not made for your average, healthy, young adult. It's not. Most healthy young adults don't need that kind of diet. And when you think about it, for somebody who's basically dying from heart disease, the exact hormonal balances this person is encountering isn't the priority. The priority is saving their life. Whereas if you're otherwise more or less healthy, your hormonal balance is one of the priorities because you don't have any life-threatening problems. So there is no logical reason why you would need to be a high-carb, low-fat person if you're perfectly healthy. And how people didn't see that really, you know, is beyond me, for one, but it must have come from a place that was disordered. It must have done. And when I see how physique-focused many of these people were, you know, I'm led to suspect that most of it comes from a place of disordered eating. And I know I have insider intel as to that, like I can totally understand. But when you are an influencer with hundreds and thousands of people watching you, you really shouldn't be able to give health advice if you're not in a good place, if you're not qualified somehow. And it's not okay to be a young person making their mistakes and leading others into making mistakes too. I don't know how that could be regulated, but I really think there's a big issue that anybody, just anybody, is dishing out health advice that is completely rubbish and that is leaving real traces. It's leaving actual impacts on those YouTubers. Can you imagine the hundreds or maybe thousands of others that followed in their footsteps and that might also have these kind of impacts? Like, it blows my mind. Ultimately, these people are young people that I think in some ways are lost and are trying to find themselves through different ways, and diet being one of them. You can do that, that's fine. But you have a responsibility as an influencer. And although I don't think you should be able to influence people based on that, it's a fact, it's happening, and the least you can do is own up to your mistakes and say, I tried it for you so that you don't have to, do not do this, it's not good. And also, never, never, never follow gurus online. I mean, it's like anything that becomes too popular to be totally normal. Like, I'm going to take an example that probably isn't really comparable because, well, it's not exactly the same thing, and also I don't really know the science behind it. I'm going to say that straight up. But like, for instance, everybody's taking CBD oil. Should I be taking CBD oil every single day because I've seen people do it? No, I should do my research, see if it applies to me, know whether that's something I want to be involved in, blah, 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 not blindly follow the pack that is going towards CBD oil heaven forever. And it's kind of the same thing that happened with what happens with any big trend going on. Oh, it's a celery juice thing. It's the blah 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 juice thing. It's the, you know, use your intellectual capacities, use your common sense, use your critical distance, and before you jump into anything, think twice. Don't think twice, think 20 times. Really, because it can mess up with your health on the long run, maybe even forever. And you don't want that. Your health is so, so precious. And also, if something rings a little bit too good to be true, or, you know, doesn't sit right with you, listen to that gut feeling. Listen to it, because there's probably something behind that. And to all those ex-vegans, do whatever you want with your life. I have nothing to say about that. But don't mess with other people's life. And own up to your mistakes, take your responsibilities, and make videos in which you explain through and through what you did and what went wrong. That's all I can urge you to do at this point. So yeah, that's what I have to say about it. If you have any comments about this, I'd be happy to discuss with you in the comment section. So please comment what your thoughts are about this. It gets me really annoyed, and in a way I'm glad I got it off my chest, because there's not that many people standing up and saying, well, no, actually there are lots of people disputing, but I feel like we need just more people bringing common sense and like education and stopping this cult-esque mentality of veganism and just being like, just be reasonable, you know? Like, is that so difficult? And I understand, from an eating disorder perspective, I totally understand that, yes, being reasonable can be difficult and so on, but, like, if you're in a context where you have an eating disorder, you are in no place to be giving health advice, and maybe these people didn't realize that they had problems, I don't know, but you should be always very, very, very wary with the content you put out. And that's a lesson I think people need to learn every day. Anyway, if you like this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I really, 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 really hope that you have a beautiful day and that you eat something else than fruit, and that you eat something other than water. Get your protein, your fats, your carbs, your supplements if you need them, because if you're vegan you probably need some supplements. Probably do a video on that soon, the supplements that I take, just to, and to explain the supplements that I take and why I take them. Probably do that soon. And if you have any thoughts on it, please let me know, and I'll be seeing you very soon. The sun has come out, so I'm getting my spring, well, also it's the first day of spring, so I'm getting my spring vibe. I'll be seeing you very soon, guys. Bye!